Hello, hello,
Okay,
hello,
let's see this.
everybody. As you can see, I have, as you can see in my web captions, I said all right, all right, all right before going live. So hi, everybody. It's so great to see all of your non-existent faces, but to see your names in chat. Thank you so much for joining us for episode 7 of Transplanar RPG, which is an all-trans POC-led 100% homebrew D&D 5th edition campaign set in a non-colonial anti-orientalist world. GM by yours truly. Episode 7 is called Tender Heart Heavy with Grief, and we'll get right into the title at the end of our announcements portion. But first off, hi! Thanks for tuning in. My name is Connie. My pronouns are they, he, and she. I am the GM and executive producer behind Transplanar RPG. I am interested in horror, screenwriting, improv, monstrosity, and myth making. You can find me on Twitter at @byconniechang and on Twitch and Tumblr at @dnDaddyIssues. So let's pass along introductions with C.
Oh, hey, my name's C. I use pronouns like they, them, z, them, or re, rem. I am a digital artist. I play Oka here on Transplanar, lovable, angry little Asamar blood hunter. That's what I am. Woo! Almost forgot. You can find me on Twitter at PieSharpArt or on Tumblr at PieSharp, and I just opened up my commissions yesterday, basically. So feel free to commission me if you're interested, and I'll pass it over to Max.
Hello, I'm Max. I go by they, them pronouns. I play Dewey Quirk, the Aarakocra Ranger. And you can find me on Instagram and Tumblr at StarchMonk. I'm gonna throw it to Devin.
Hello, my name's Devin. I use they, them pronouns. I play the extremely tall half-orc fighter Manaia Wairua. You can't find me anywhere on the internet except on our Discord. Use the !Discord command in the chat for that link. I'm very active there. Right, and last but not least...
It's me, Erica. Hi, I'm Erica, she, her pronouns. I play V. Nocturzo, that lovable con woman sorcerer elf, and I love chaos. And so if you want to check the chaos anywhere you can, Erica New Girl on all your favorite social media. And I will pass it back to Connie because everybody else has gone, Connie. I repeat, everybody has gone.
Who has gone? What is that? What'd you say? Thanks for introducing yourselves, everyone. Let's move on to our statement about Wizards of the Coast as always. C, would you like to take that away?
Yes, it's my favorite thing to say at the beginning of the session. We'd like to open our episode, as always, by saying "fuck Wizards of the Coast." You can use the "fuck Wizards of the Coast." You can use the !WOTC command in chat to get our full statement at any time.
Great.
Connie, you want to tell us more about the feature programming?
Yes, I would love to. So as a reminder, we play our main campaign every other Saturday, so episode 8, which is going to be a big episode because it's number 8, and there are 8 gods of Andake, will come out Saturday, October 3rd at 3 p.m. Central on Twitch. But never fear, Lecture 5 of Professor Chang's Tabletop Workshop airs next Saturday, September 26th at 3 p.m. Central, and the topic is to be determined, so hang tight. Finally, every Tuesday night at 7 p.m. Central is Gaming with Devin, where Devin plays Final Fantasy XIV in character as our beloved half-orc, Manaia Wairua.
And really quick about that, we're getting to our first dungeon this coming Tuesday, so if you have a character who would like to jump on in and help Manaia through that dungeon, get your character ready.
Yes, if you play Final Fantasy XIV, play with us. We would love to, and have your, character featured on stream. So speaking of community interaction, we want to give a very special shout out to Cappy of Heroes in Progress. So Cappy created custom soundscapes for our exploits in Dabathati and poured a lot of heart, love, soul, and research into these sounds. So please check out their project, Heroes in Progress, using the !Heroes in Progress command. Just as a quick synopsis of what they're all about, they're a queer modern fantasy D&D 5th edition podcast that follows 2 young investigators as they uncover mysteries about their school circa 2004. So if you missed Britney Spears, if you missed the Backstreet Boys, check out Heroes in Progress. I wonder if that's a good endorsement of their stuff, but yeah, use that command at any time. So yeah, speaking of promo partnerships, C.
Oh, and we do miss Britney Spears. We are also extremely proud to present our promo partnerships with other BIMPOC, queer folks, and/or trans folks in the tabletop community. So use our exclamation point promo partners at any time for a full list of folks in a scrolling marquee from our waiting rooms. We have also a very special one-of-a-kind partnership with Games by B, who makes one-of-a-kind, handmade, custom D&D and tabletop accessories on their Etsy store. And guess what? All Transplanar fans get 10% off anything in their store with the coupon code Transplanar10. For a link to their store, use the exclamation point Games by B in chat. And speaking of stores, can I get a drum roll, please? Have you ever wanted everyone in your life to know that you are number one, trans, and number two, a huge nerd? Well, we here at Transplanar have decided to make your dream a reality. Transform your style with a simple online trans action and your brand new Transplanar merch will be in transit. Very, very soon, coming to you. We open our online store, which is super awesome. We have things like t-shirts, we've got mugs, we've got stickers, we've got socks, we've got phone cases. Check it out. You can use you can use the exclamation point merch command in chat. And the store link will be on all of our social media later today, but you live viewers get first pick. So use that merch command, use the link now before it transpires. Share pics of your goods when you get there, and remember that TTRPG stands for Transplanar T-shirt RPG. So just remember that and do what's right.
Thank you for
Thank
that.
you.
See?
And I'll pass along to Erica for our donor thanks.
Yeah, we would love to acknowledge everyone who has donated, subscribed, gift subbed, resubbed, and or gave bits during Session 6, Lecture 4 of Professor Chong's Tabletop Workshop, and Gaming with Devin. Those individuals are Bangle_org, Miss Jess Star, Kaze Valera, Vinatao, aka Sophie, Arborea, and Blinky Moore. Thank you so much for your overwhelming generosity and support. And also, as you can see on the overlay, our current donation goal is $120. We hit it last episode, and once we hit that goal, a second player-related backstory B-plot will be unlocked. So far, V's backstory has been quite spicy, so let's get another one. Connie will roll a d4, and whoever name comes up with will have their B-plot activated as soon as possible. Moreover, every $15 donated lights up a star on our overlay, which grants 1 point of collective inspiration to the party. To donate, use the exclamation point tip command. Back to Connie.
Great, wonderful. Let's move on to the recap of what happened last session. Max, take it away.
So, as a reminder, you can access a written recap of every episode by using exclamation point recap in the chat or typing bit.ly/transrecap into your browser. Here is what happened last episode. So, the mysterious figure the party met revealed their name was Costas, and they wanted two things: meat from the creature they killed, and to get to Depathati to join the Children of the Chrysalis, as Oka found out. They tagged along. The party faced immense crowds of travelers and refugees, all wanting to get into the beautiful mountainous city. V decided she wasn't going to wait around, and transformed into her alter ego Ronnie, and got even taller. She egged on a group of Dragonborns, getting them to escort the party into the city, hoping to see their leader crush Ronnie into the ground. However, when brought to this leader, we learned that V has a sordid history with Severt. Dewey and Oka obliviously stayed outside, and Manaia and V prepared to fight.
Wonderful. And now, of course, Devin, why don't you tell us what the title of this session is and why it's important?
All right. So, as always, we try to title our episodes with something topical, you might say. Okay. But also topical. So today's episode title is Tender Heart, Heavy with Grief, by Sappho. It's from the book Poems and Fragments by Sappho, translated by Josephine Balmer. And the full verse reads, But wandering here and there, she recalls gentle Athos with desire, and her tender heart is heavy with grief.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Devin. And without further ado, 10 minutes past, let's get right into the meat of the session. Is everyone ready? Character sheets prepped? Let's do this. Mother hold me, father stay, wealth to rot and love to pain. 3 in the chamber, 2 intertwined, 1 stands alone with wounded pride. The rose is sweet, for thorns overcome, fire made from burning thumb. Deepest valleys hold soaring cliffs. What use is reward without the risk? It's a hot night in the silent grove, that subtropical patch of bamboo forests and humid trees which comprises a vast swath of the mighty kingdom of Toulon. The cicadas are singing. The stars shine like jewels. The constellation of Mengchen-Zhidi, the god of knowledge and dreams, smiles down upon the 5-crown dragon, an illustrious tea house and gambling venue, where illegal gambits are allowed if you know how to swindle. V, you sit across the felt from a tiefling, a dragonborn, and a human. The bone of the mahjong tile is cool against your hand, and you're a single tile away from winning the pot. 200 gold pieces and some jewelry to boot. It's currently the tiefling's turn. She mulls over her hand and then tosses a tile face down onto the discard pile. Your heart thumps. It's the one you marked at the beginning of the game when the tiles were first shuffled. The other half of the winning pair. It's now the Dragonborn's turn. After him, you go. You watch casually but intently as he considers his options, then takes your marked tile from the discard pile. And just like that, your chances of winning have evaporated. But you're not going to let that happen, are you? V, why don't you roll sleight of hand for me?
All right. 20 unnatural.
20 unnatural. Okay, V, I'm going to contest that.
Okay.
That was a nat 1. I'm
That's
not lying.
well
It was a nat 1. You're lucky because my metallic dice are high rollers, so they're burning out their low rolls on this flashback sequence. V, tell me how you swipe this tile. You swap it out. Tell me how you're doing this.
Are we? How close are we to like each other?
Pretty close.
Are we like? Okay.
You're within arm's reach. He's right next to you, so you could even like, you know.
Yeah. So I'm gonna just like tussle my hair real hard and like kind of accidentally whip him in the face and then just be like, oh, I am so sorry, and just like reach over and like caress his face where my hair would have whipped. And meanwhile, like while he's looking at me, my other hand will palm the tile.
Will palm the tile. Okay, because he rolled a nat 1, not only does he not notice, but he looks at you and his blue eyes sort of twinkle with what appears to be, why don't you roll insight for me?
Let's see. 3.
Curiosity. He regards you with curiosity. And he doesn't seem to notice that you palmed the tile, and sure enough, when it's your turn, you have the winning, you have mahjong. So you're able to put the tiles down, declare your victory, and you scoop up the winnings, this gold, this jewelry, you put it in your pack. The tiefling and the human mutter to themselves, and they slam their tiles back onto the felt, and they leave the smoky parlor room to get drinks, presumably, or perhaps to dance their frustrations away. But the Dragonborn man lingers. He stays next to you, and he lights up a cigar, actually, and wordlessly offers you one.
Well, thank you very much, but I don't accept gifts from strangers.
That's quite astute of you. Might I ask your name?
My name is Victoria.
Victoria, what a beautiful name.
Well, thank you.
My name is Sievert. It's a pleasure.
Sievert.
I've never
That-
seen someone so beautiful as yourself.
Well, you flatter me so much, I can only question what your motives are for such flattery.
My motives? Simple. A drink. And he flags down a server and says, wine or whiskey?
Oh, well, let's go ahead and get a little rough with some whiskey.
Let's get rough with some whiskey indeed. I'm a whiskey man myself. On the rocks, of course. And this marks the beginning of a memorable night for you, V. This memory sort of peels away from your eyes as you stand in the present now, at the top floor of this building that this poor white dragonborn man had escorted you to Arman, but now Arman is slumped against a bookcase, apparently unconscious. And the man himself, Sievert, this white dragonborn in his charcoal gray kind of bespoke suit, huge broad shoulders, looking every bit as charming, suave, handsome, and intimidating as when you first met him. He stands behind a wide mahogany desk that overlooks a broad window, which reveals the bustling market street of Dabathati, the capital of the Republic of Talmud. You stand in front of him, just a few feet away, with Manaia at the threshold, and Sievert grins kind of predatorily at you, revealing a single gold tooth, a single canine capped in gold, his blue eyes flashing. And I need to change the music for what's about to happen, because as you remember, V, we last left off with you and Sievert about to throw hands. So,
That's putting it lightly.
hold on, let me get some battle music up in here. So why don't you roll initiative?
5.
Ooh!
Okay. Total?
Yeah.
Okay, you are gonna go second. Manaia, are you declaring yourself to be a part of this? Or are you staying out of it?
I will roll initiative, but hold back.
Okay, so
I don't know if I should. Should I roll now?
Yeah, you should roll now. Just, you can seize your turn, though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
12.
12, okay. Manaia, you go first, actually. But you're deciding to just let Sievert and V have this, duke it out?
I'm gonna loosen my axe in its scabbard.
Okay, you loosen your axe in its scabbard, but you watch as Sievert is going to immediately, he reels backward, and you see like the scales, because he's wearing a suit, but the scales of his throat seem to crack a little. You hear this crackle as a blue light shines out from the cracks between his scales, a blue frosty light, and you hear a kind of like permafrost cracking, and then like his eyes glow this brilliant azure, and then he opens his mouth and exhales a blast of wintry air. V and Manaia, why don't the two of you make a Constitution saving throw for me?
Oh, he's hitting me too.
I mean, you're right there, so yes.
15.
Okay, Manaia?
8.
Okay, Manaia, you fail. V, you save. But what this means is you take half damage, V. So I'm gonna roll full damage and you can just, like, divide it by 2. So what this means is, Manaia, you take 5, 6, 11 points of cold damage, as this gust of wintry air, and V, you're only gonna take 5, I think.
Yep.
Yep, you're gonna take 5. Washes over you, mists over you, and you feel this kind of blast of air feels even colder than you expected, and you see like little granules of ice forming on your skin from where it made contact with this wintry breath, and you sort of see the mat, the rug underneath you, as well as the closed double doors also like begin to form like little icicles. Whatever he's breathing out is extremely cold. So next up is actually going to be V.
V is gonna look at the room kind of freezing over and is like, well, it looks like we need to turn it up the heat in here a little bit. and I'm going to use Twin Spell. I'm going to use a sorcery point for Twin Spell, since there are 2 enemies in the room. And I'm going to cast Scorching Ray, but purposefully at each side of the bookshelves.
Okay, before you roll that, I need you to roll a d4 for me.
D4.
Oh, that's...
Wait, hold on. Actually, you don't. You're good. Don't worry about it. Just do your twin spell, because you saved, actually. I forgot. Okay, so describe to me, is that just an attack roll for your Scorching Ray?
Yeah, I don't know how we want to... I mean, technically it's like 6.
6 attacks.
Yeah. Which
okay. Why don't you just roll 1 attack for each target?
Okay, so twice.
Yeah.
13 on one and 17 on the other.
Okay. They would both hit Sievert. So it doesn't really matter. Let's say it doesn't matter. Both would hit both of your targets, so they're both hits. So why don't you roll? You're also trying to target the slumped over Dragonborn, right?
Actually, I'm going just for the bookshelf to start shit on fire.
Yeah. Why don't you roll damage then?
All right.
Let's say it's the same damage for both.
Okay. Shit. Hold on. I just gotta check them real quick.
Sure. Ooh. Okay, so Erica, while you're checking that, we're going to bounce very quickly to Oka and Dewey. You're standing outside this building with sort of like the insignia of a rainbow fist, 1 finger for each color of. We have red, blue, green, black, and white in the shape of a fist in front of this building. You stand on the stairs outside waiting for whatever conflict to resolve itself within. Costas, this hooded stranger that you've been traveling with for a few weeks now, is sort of pacing in tight circles. They look rather nervous in front of this building. And the smell of smoke from like people smoking cigars and cigarettes from inside the building sort of drifts out of a cracked window. What do the two of you do?
Oka kind of like chews on their nail a little bit.
Okay.
Watching Costas go with, the double pupils bouncing back and forth.
Sure.
This is boring. I probably should have gone in. Or maybe V could have just, not gotten us all in trouble again.
Yeah, I'm not going in there. I don't know what's going on up there, but I don't think it's something I want to be a part of. I'm not comfortable fighting, especially not those dudes.
Well, come on, Dewey, you can hold your own. You have to be at least a little bit comfortable fighting. Come on, you have that sword. You have to know at least a few basic maneuvers.
I mean, the whole purpose of the sword is that it's been engineered so that I don't have to do the work. It does the defending for me, and then there's no,
Okay, but does your magic sword have any programmed skills?
Attack?
Because if you programmed it, oh my god.
Okay, let's bounce back
Okay,
up,
pick it up.
to
Come on.
the top floor as Oka, you touch your forehead in exasperation. Okay, V, how does that work for me?
So each side is 20 points of damage.
Oh, okay. Okay, sure.
Because it's each one is 3 rays, and the 3 rays combined was 20.
Okay, so it's 20 points of fire damage, I'm assuming?
Yep.
Okay. Sure. As this first ray, let's describe it blasting into Sievert. Just this funnel of fire energy blasts out from your outstretched palm, and it hits him square in his chest, his huge barrel chest, and you actually see him take like a small step back.
Actually, Connie,
Yep.
I'm not even aiming for Seaver. I'm literally going for the bookshelves. I'm
sorry.
burning this shit to the ground.
Yes, okay, you're burning all. So 40 points total?
Yeah.
Okay.
To the room. To the room.
To the room.
Did you roll HP for the room?
Okay, one for each bookshelf on either side of the desk, correct?
Yeah. Yep.
Okay.
We got a stat block for the room, Connie. Surprise.
The bookshelves catch on fire immediately. not just on fire, but the point of contact of where this initial fireball, basically this ray, hit the scrolls. It burns a hole. It completely just blasts this huge, probably 4-foot wide hole in the bookshelves, and it scorches on your left. So Sievert's right. You see, just it reveals like brick, like charred brick now. And on the right, on your right, or Sievert's left, you see it reveals the metal backing of something that isn't brick. But it does create scorch marks behind the bookshelves, and whoosh, immediately it's on fire. And you can sort of see the heat shimmering in front of your eyes, and you can see the flames dancing in Sievert's gaze as well, as immediately this smoke begins to billow and fill the room. And is that the end of your turn?
Yep, I'm not moving in muscle.
Okay, yeah. The fire immediately melts away the ice that has been caked onto the door behind you. And Manaia, at the top of your turn, because of all the flames and the heat that's being generated in this room, the little granules of frost that have caked onto your body from Sievert's frost breath begin also to melt off. Are you gonna do anything, though?
About the frost?
About anything.
About anything. I'll watch the bookshelves to see if they fall.
Okay.
And like get ready to move out of the way if they do fall. Otherwise, I'm keeping a steady eye on the fight.
Okay, you're just continuing to keep an eye on the fight. Great, then I won't make you roll anything, really. But the fire does begin to burn away the frost that's been caked onto your skin. And next is going to be Sievert. He looks around at the charred, burnt corpses of the various scrolls and books in his room, and he snarls a guttural, angry, disgusted growl. And you can sort of see, you don't really know him, you know him well, but also not well at the same time, given your history together. And you see like a vein begin to bulge on the side of his neck that you recognize as a kind of uncharacteristic fury. But he keeps it like down here, right? He doesn't explode. But he says, "You have no idea what you've just done." And he is going to let out a roar and lunge at you from over the desk. But instead of like going at you for his claws, he's actually gonna whip around with surprising dexterity at the last moment, and his tail is he's gonna try to slap you with his huge tail. So I'm gonna make an attack roll for that. That hits, and you are going to take, let's see, some yummy damage. 5 bludgeoning damage. Right to the chest, as the tail knocks into you, and make a strength saving throw for me, please.
10.
That is not sufficient. You are knocked prone. Let's say you fall back, the wind is knocked out of your lungs, and you fall flat on your ass in front of Manaia. And because you're prone, Sievert's next attack with his claw is going to have advantage on you, as he pounces upon you. Okay, so he does hit, and he is going to get you for 9 points of slashing damage as this sort of rends from your shoulder to your hip. He's a huge guy, as well as 5 points of cold damage. As soon as he rips open your nice, suit, he rips open like your tie, and as soon as that claw finishes rending open your hip, you see like little, again, granules of ice just like appearing over, like frosting over your wound and causing even more damage. Okay, so now it is your turn, V. Sievert is on top of you.
I'm going to cast Chromatic Orb.
Okay.
And I want to roll it before I say what I do.
Okay.
18.
18. Is that like an attack roll?
It's like a ranged spell.
Yeah, that would hit.
Perfect. So I'm going to cast an acid chromatic orb ball in my hand.
It's a ranged spell?
Well, I mean, yeah, I have to throw the ball at...
Any sort of ranged attack spell, if it's within melee, has disadvantage, so I need you to roll that attack roll again and take the lower number.
Hold on, let me look at... $13.
That does hit. Yeah, okay,
All
so
right.
It hits regardless. So why don't you roll whatever you're trying to roll damage for?
Let's see. So it's going to be 14 points of damage, of acid damage.
Okay.
And I'm going to form it in my hand, and I'm going to say, darling, this time I'm going to give you something to remember me by, and I'm going to blow a kiss with the orb right into his face.
Okay, the acid
yeah.
splashes over his snout, and he lets out a snarl. And let's say due to how close it is, and due to the positioning of it, he is going to make a Constitution saving throw to see if he is temporarily blinded. What's your spell save, DC?
13.
Yeah, he does not make it. So until the end of his next turn, Sievert is blinded by the acid. Blinded by the acid. Is that how that works?
Excellent.
Great.
Yep.
Okay, so yeah, he lets out a snarl, and he immediately gets off of you and starts, like, swiping at his eyes with his claws. And he lets out a, you impudent fool. And he's, like, swiping at his eyes and snarling. And you can see, like, these gouts of, like, icy mist coming out of his flared nostrils. And now before we get to Manaia, though, downstairs. Oka, you...
Left foot back. I said left foot back when you
This
charge.
is my left foot. This is my left foot.
Oh, sorry. Okay, I was looking at you backwards. Well, left foot back, right arm forward, and parry.
Ah!
Parry.
As you charge at Dewey, due to both of your passive perceptions, you do notice something interesting. You smell smoke. It smells different from the cigar smoke that's been billowing out of the lower floor window. That's what you smell. That's what you notice.
Hey, are they all smoking in there?
Oh, probably. That's what you do in places like that. Don't get distracted. I'm not. No,
I
Dewey.
don't-
We're focusing here. Okay, ready?
And
Jab.
as you continue to fight each other, sword fight each other, you don't look up, and you don't see the huge flames from behind the window that have engulfed the bookshelves on either side. But going back up to that second story floor, or rather third or fourth story, really, it's several stories up. Manaia.
Can I actually?
Yes.
After he got off me, could I use my movement to just get back up?
Yeah, because it's
Okay.
half your movement to stand up. Yeah, yep,
Yep,
do. You
yeah, I
manage
will
to get
do
up.
that.
You
Yep.
struggle to your feet, let's say. You're no longer prone. So Manaia, do you do anything?
Yeah. So, you know how in boxing matches, like when each match finishes, they sit in the chair and then like the trainer comes up and like rubs their shoulders, like you got this, sort of a thing, right? Manaia's gonna, because V's right in front of me, right? So she's gonna walk up, and sort of brush off some of the ice and be like, and say, "This is your fight, but as soon as you want me in, say the word." And sort of give her a little pat on the back and then sit back. Yeah.
Okay.
Pep talk.
Yeah.
Can I respond at all, or do I have to wait for my turn again?
Talk is a free action.
While trying to still seem as like badass as ever, V's actually gonna cast message, I guess, and say, "I'm a little bit hurting right now. I could use a little help."
Manaia nods.
Are you gonna do anything with that, Manaia? Or not yet? You're still gonna hold off a little bit.
Not yet.
Okay, cool.
Left on red.
Left on red. So V's like, "Please, for the love of God, help me." And Manaia's like, "Okay." It doesn't do anything. So it's gonna be Sievert now. Sievert is blinded, so let's see what that condition does. Fun condition. Blinded creature can't see. Blinded by the con artist. So attack rolls against the creature have advantage, and the creature's attack rolls have disadvantage. A blinded creature can't see and automatically fails any ability check that requires sight. Okay, good to know. So Sievert, he's swiping at his eyes, right? And instead of doing anything for this turn, he's actually just gonna shout, let's see. Make yourself useful, Yagli. And Manaia, your passive perception is 14. Okay, why don't you make a perception check for me in that case?
9.
Okay, you don't really notice anything, and you are going to take, let's let's see. How does that work? Yes, okay. 6. Oh my god, okay, that's a lot. I'm just gonna use an online dice roller.
That's nerve-wracking.
30 points of damage. 6 of it is slashing, and 24 of it is poison. As you feel a blade of some sort slash across your back.
Holy mother of fuck!
He has a
Yes.
sword too?
And you are going to take...
That's a lot of damage.
Actually, yeah. What are you at now, Manaia?
3.
3, yeah, okay, that's all you take. So you feel this world-rending pain as a blade just rends across your back. And as you're, like, staggering, you know, you notice someone flicker into existence behind you for a brief moment. It's a lizard folk man, kind of scrawny, with big bulbous eyes that look in either direction, kind of like a chameleon. And he's also dressed in a suit, and he's holding a short sword, the edge of which is slick with green poison, and his tongue like slicks out and back into his body, and then he flickers back into non-existence. He disappears from his sight.
I'm sorry, chat.
Yes, go ahead.
Nothing personal, kid.
Nothing personal. Yeah, Shadow the Hedgehog
Oh my
appears behind you and then disappears back into the ethereal plane.
Rob!
Yeah, so that is what happens. That is what Sievert does with his turn. He commands this Yagli figure to attack, and now it's V.
Gosh, what am I gonna do, yo? Okay. Do I see this thing that attacked Manaia?
Yeah, he revealed himself very briefly.
Okay. I'm gonna use a sorcery point to use a twin spell and do Scorching Ray. This time aiming for Sievert and this creature that just attacked Manaia.
Okay, you can't see this creature, so your attack roll on him is gonna have disadvantage.
Okay.
Swear to God, if you hit me with fire.
Quick question,
Yes,
if I might interject.
you might introduce.
Does the creature going invisible in front of Manaia count as disengaging? And would Manaia have an attack of opportunity in that instance? Just wondering.
It does
Just
not
quick
count as
question.
disengaging. But
I tried.
well, without metagaming too much. Actually, yeah. Let's say you have an attack of opportunity. He does go invisible, and you can reasonably assume he might be moving out of the way. But your attack of opportunity will have disadvantage because you can't see him. So yeah,
Okay.
Manaia, why don't you do that, and then we'll resolve the Scorching Ray.
Yep.
Yeah, so I get attacked from behind. She kind of like, and then like falls forward just a bit,
Yeah.
and then like takes her axe out, and then jabs with the handle behind her
I like that.
for bludgeoning damage.
Look at
Great. Make a attack roll. You can use a point of collective inspiration to cancel out the disadvantage if you want.
Do we have any collective inspiration?
You
I
have
don't
four.
think we
You
do.
have 4.
Yeah, we have 4.
I mean,
It's not on the overlay.
I think
Yeah, it is.
I think I'll stick with this 15.
Oh, I see it. Never mind.
15? That does hit.
Yeah.
That does hit. Even with disadvantage?
Yeah.
Cool.
The other
okay.
one's an unnatural 20.
Oh wow. Okay, yeah. So why don't you roll damage for that?
All right. Let's find the dice I need. I need a d12, and I need a d4. Yeah.
Fun. Damage rolling time. We're all rolling damage for a very fun time. Ooh.
So that's a 3, and that's a 1, which I get to re-roll. 8, 11, 14 damage.
Okay, great. You deal 14 points of damage to this. You feel the butt of your huge great axe connect with something kind of soft in comparison and squishy, and you hear "Ooh."
Squeak?
Yeah.
Okay,
Noise.
deeper, okay.
Yeah, deeper. So now, V, it's your turn.
Can I use the fact that they just made an audible sound to track their position?
Echolocation.
I'll have to make you roll perception to see if you remove disadvantage.
Echolocation. V is a bat.
Only 6.
Battle music,
no,
battle
you still have
music.
disadvantage.
Can I use a point of collective inspiration to cancel out the disadvantage?
Yes, you can.
All right.
That is what it's for. Okay.
So I don't have enough dice to roll all 6 at once, so I'll do that creature first.
Okay. Sounds good. As you're rolling damage, let's go back to Oka and Dewey, and just let me know when you're done rolling damage for all of your attacks. Oka, Dewey, what are you doing?
So your grip, I know that you're like letting it fly around and shit, but your grip, because you can hold it too, Dewey. You can hold your sword.
I don't want to hold
Your
it.
grip should be loose with a firm wrist. Do you understand? A firm wrist, but with
I don't
loose.
want to be holding on to it. I want to be far away from the slashy part. And I dropped
You know, that's not-
I dropped the sword and I like flutter up a little bit away from it.
We come back down here.
Do I notice?
Yeah, at that point, both you, Costas, and Oka at the same time notice the fact that the top floor of this building is on fire. Big gouts of billowing smoke are coming out of the roof, and you can sort of see the shimmering haze of the glass windows as orange, red, and blue conflagrations illuminate the interior.
You know, on second thought, maybe you should go up there, actually. Maybe we should actually...
No, I'm coming back down.
No, get up there, Dewey, get up!
No!
The Prophet, says Costas, and they immediately run into the building.
Oh my god.
Okay. I'd like to go grappling hook route, maybe, instead.
Okay.
Right through the... If the window is, like, vibrating with heat, it should be pretty easy to smash through.
Okay,
That's all I'm
I'll let you attempt it with a attack roll using Dex. And if the attack roll
Good
hits
to
the
know.
DC, then I will allow it.
Haha. Unnatural 20.
Yeah, that's enough. You don't smash through the window, but you do. Your grappling hook does land on like a brick outcropping, and it finds it finds purchase.
Up we go, then.
I'm not going in there.
Well, then send your sword in there!
Okay, fine.
Break the window for me!
Can I chuck my sword at the window?
Yeah, how does your flying sword work? What's the range on it? Like far away from you. As you're figuring that out, V, what damage did you roll?
Well, towards the creature, I rolled a 6, an 11, and a 24 to hit.
Oh, those are the 3 separate rays. The 6
Yeah.
and the 11 don't hit, but the 24 does.
Okay, so then for that I roll, 11 for damage. Very
Holy
nice rolls.
fuck. Okay.
And then
yeah.
the one towards Sievert, I rolled an 11, a 23, and a nat 20. Biatch.
Okay, so obviously the
hello!
23 and the nat 20 hit, but not the 11. So why don't we resolve the 23 first with damage, and then we'll do the damage of the nat 20 after.
The 23 is 9 points of damage.
Okay. Sounds good. And I'm gonna give you the chance of rolling, let's say, rolling double damage for the crit, or you can choose some other kind of bonus that we can work out together.
Would it be... I think I just want to roll the double.
Okay.
The double damage.
Sounds good. Roll double damage. Go for it. And let's say you can on a crit you can reroll ones.
Okay, so 18 points of damage. Fire damage.
Okay. Okay.
This is my favorite battle music.
Yeah.
Oh, hell yeah.
Let's crank it up then. Why don't you describe to me how the scorching ray looks when it blasts into Sievert?
So I do the one towards the creatures, and those are just like mostly throwing the rays, and like I don't even care about them.
Yeah.
And then the ones towards Sievert, because I hit on 2 and missed on the third one. So what? Let's say the third one that I miss is like right at his feet and like sets the ground on fire, or like right there. But then the other 2 like, I want each one to be an individual right now that I think about. Actually, I hit the first one at his feet, and then the other 2 like both hands, and just like fucking like trying to push him back with it.
Okay, cool. So you throw those 3 random rays at the chameleon guy. 2 of them just sort of splash against the wall, and one hits the floor, but the third one hits and briefly illuminates like his silhouette, and you hear another as this invisible chameleon lizard folk is hit with this ray, and then the third ray that you targeted Sievert with splashes against the ground and illuminates like a miniature wall, like a line of fire that goes up, and then you step forward and you blast him with 2 coming out from your palms. The first one pegs him in the shoulder, and the next one, the crit, pegs him in the other shoulder, and you hear him go, ugh, and he stumbles backward, and the back of his hip bumps against the mahogany table as these two gouts of flame, let's say, continuously erupt from your hands, and you force him backward. Boom! He moves back, and the desk crashes against the window and breaks it and comes hurtling down. And Oka, you are on the grappling hook at this point, as well as Max's flying sword. So why don't Oka, you make a dexterity saving throw. And Max's sword will also have to make
against
a
the desk
saving throw. Yes, against the desk.
Against
a huge mahogany heavy desk.
That was mahogany.
That was mahogany.
That was mahogany.
God.
14.
Okay. How about Dewey's sword?
1.
Natural?
Natural 1, because I can't add
Okay.
like beefy dex.
Your beefy dex. Okay.
I thought it was just a natural one because you couldn't add like generally speaking.
Oka, that was just enough. As the desk plummets, you sort of, how do you move out of the way?
I get flush against the wall.
Okay, you press
Like,
against the wall.
Let go of the rope, and I just like grab the wall. You know?
Yeah, pure reflex. You grab the wall. The desk barely clips the back of your head. You can feel like that the tiny little shaved hairs on the nape of your neck rustle as the desk. And as you're pressing against the wall, it's not just a wall, it's also a window on the second floor, let's say, and you see like someone you see a human woman in like a bathtub. She's like scrubbing her back and staring at you.
Stop.
as like the desk falls. But as that happens, Dewey, your poor sword gets clipped, and it gets smashed underneath the desk. And as the desk smashes into pieces, Dewey, I'm assuming you're running forward to check on your sword. It's not broken or snapped. But let's say there's like a little gem inlay on the pommel or something, like on the hilt of the sword. It's cracked. And your sword spasms. And the little wings on its side are like jerking. There's something wrong with your sword, Dewey.
My only defense.
Your only defense, there's something wrong with it, yes, exactly.
Now you have to hold it, just like I said.
So, Oka, let's say by next turn, you'll be able to reach what's going on at the top floor. But in the meantime, V, that was your move, Sievert is backed up against the smashed window, and that's when your magic runs out, let's say, and you no longer are hitting him with these scorching rays, and you see that his suit is charred open from your attacks, and revealing sort of like this muscular length of scale across the front of his chest that's like scorched a little bit. But you also notice something interesting. You notice what appears to be like blue veins that I don't know if you've seen before. You are familiar with his, with this part of his body, but you haven't seen the blue veins that are like across his chest before. This is fairly new. But the rest of his suit is still intact, so you don't know where they lead or if they form like a picture or anything like that. And he sort of stands there, panting angrily, looking at you. And that's the end of your turn, V. Do you say anything or do anything else?
I think let's see. I want to move a little bit closer, and V is like going to muster, looking as standing tall as possible. Even though I'm not gonna lie, she is messed up hardcore right now.
Okay.
She's not doing well. And she's just gonna like breathe heavily, like just like with the flames kind of. She's gonna walk up to the wall of flames that kind of created when she missed that with the one, and just be like burning on the other side of the flames, looking at Siebert.
Okay. You look at him on the other side of the fire. And now it's Manaia. Manaia, how you doing? The poison is eating at your skin. You're not going to take further damage, but just to explain how much damage you've taken so far, it feels real bad. It's very corrosive. You don't even want to look at your back. You know it's going to be real ugly. And the gash was also pretty deep, but it was really the poison that dealt so much damage. And you know that if, you had been any less beefy, you would be down right now. For sure. And you see the scorch mark. Let's say there's like a scorch mark of the chameleon silhouette against the wall, but you're not sure if he stayed there. But you don't see him anywhere. What do you do, Manaia?
All right. So Manaia, after getting that attack in the back and like falling forward, she's like on her knees, maybe on one knee.
Okay.
And there's like the huge gash across her back. I'm going to use my bonus action first, if that's okay. I have Second Wind, which restores 1d10 health.
Okay, thank God.
Yeah. Which I can use once per short rest. So here we go.
Do you also add your Constitution modifier?
Do I? I don't think I do.
Okay.
That's 10.
Oh, nice. Okay. So you have 13 hit points?
13 hit points. And I prepared some flavor for this. Juicy flavor. So she's hunched over on one knee, and she sort of growls just a little bit as this wound sort of stitches itself back together. And she like twitches a little bit because it doesn't not hurt. And I suppose the only person who would be able to see this is the chameleon behind me, if they're still there. But it knits itself back together in the shape of small scales, which sort of fade as they meet.
Cool. Is that all you do?
No.
Okay.
No. After that, she's gonna get her bearings a little bit, and then her ears are gonna perk up, and she's gonna listen for footsteps to see if the chameleon moved.
I like that. It's gonna be kind of hard over the roaring of the flames, but I'll let you make a perception check to see.
And try to figure out where they are. That is a 13, which I think I'm gonna re-roll using Collective Inspiration.
Sounds good.
I want something a little better. And that was an 11. Alright, 13 it is, I suppose.
With a 13, let's say due to the fact that you've already nailed him with the brunt of your sword and he's a little scorched from the ray, you do see what appears to be like footsteps on the ground, maybe 5 or 10 feet to your right. These like webbed footsteps.
Alright. Yeah, she's gonna take her axe and aim for right about the gut.
The gut area? Okay.
Gut area, hoping this person isn't a really tiny halfling lizard person.
Okay, so just why don't we make an attack roll as normal, because you can sort of surmise where they are by their footsteps.
Yeah. Just going for the gut to get something to bleed to get a better visual.
Sure.
15 to hit.
That is sufficient. Why do you roll damage? Is this going to be lethal?
No.
Okay.
D10.
You're just trying to drop them to 0 without killing them, right? Make them unconscious?
Yes.
Okay.
Let's see. 7. 8 damage.
Okay, that is not quite enough to knock them out, but it is close, and you do draw blood. Your axe... Yes, go ahead.
Sorry, go ahead.
Your axe, you baseball bat, swing it at where you think his gut area is, and you see, like, blood. It, like, connects with something, and you hear another, and you see blood begin to spill out, and, like, marking where this creature is.
Mm-hmm. And I was going for more of a jab motion, but slash across the side, sort of a thing. Like slash across their gut.
Yeah, sure. You jab and then slash across their gut, and you see like the blood flow out and sort of stain what you assume are legs or pants. And this creature lets out an is clearly not doing very well at all based on their laborious breaths. Is that the end of your turn?
I have a question. I have Action Surge, which allows me an extra action.
Yes.
And I'm wondering, I don't have it written down.
You can use that to attack again.
Yes. I'm wondering if that counts as a bonus action and whether or not I'd be able to do it this turn.
It does not count as a bonus action. Unless it says this is a bonus action.
I didn't have it written down, so I wasn't sure.
Let's see.
Let's just call it good, huh? Let's just let's be nice to the player.
Yes. I think it is not a bonus action. It's just something you can do.
Heck yeah.
Yeah.
So jab across the gut, and then the butt side swings around, and I'm gonna try to pin, or I'm gonna try to attack, like bludgeoning damage, but also pin to the ground.
Okay, so make another attack roll.
All right.
Get it, Manaia.
17.
Okay, that hits. So why don't you roll damage?
All right.
And let's say bludgeoning non-lethal.
Yep. 11. 13.
13. Yeah, that's sufficient. You bludgeon him and he goes unconscious. And as he does, he flickers back into existence, and you see this like chameleon, like his tongue's like lolling out, and you pin him to the ground, and he's like he's not dead, but he's like unconscious. You know, like in Pokemon, like when the eyes are swirly. Yeah.
One last thing. Can I kick his sword away? Kick their sword away.
Yeah, you can. It was in his hand, and you kick it away as, let's say, a free action. That doesn't cost you anything. As soon as he hits the ground and is unconscious, you hear Sievert from beyond the flames snarl, and he snarls, "Yagli, you die when I give you permission to die or fall unconscious." And V, you notice beyond the flames, because you already saw the veins on his chest, you notice them flare and glow bright blue. And at the same time, Yagli twitches, convulses underneath your axe.
Axe and boot.
Yes, your axe. And his eyes fly open again as he pops back up to 1 HP and is no longer unconscious. So at this point, Oka... Dewey, you're still on the ground next to your fallen sword. Okay, Oka, you have climbed to the summit of this building. Why don't you make a perception check for me?
Sure, I'll make a perception check for the summit of the burning building. Oh, nice! 22.
Not only do you see sort of Sievert is kind of right there, his back is turned to you. You see this huge, bulky, dragonborn man with, you know, in typical dragonborn style, after the dragons of Andake, has sort of these, like, antlers and, like, these whiskers that sort of flow, kind of like Chinese dragons. And you also notice, due to your high perception roll, a lot of commotion from the ground floor, and Dewey, you notice this as well. It seems like obviously the noise of the fight and the smoke has been noticed, and you notice, Dewey, you especially, and okay, can hear thunderous footsteps going up the stairs as reinforcements of all of these guild or organization members are going straight to the top. Dewey, you notice that no fewer than 30 or 40 people are running up there, and they will be there soon. All presumably on Sievert's side. And Costas is lost in there somewhere in the mix. Okay, so you do notice that time is a-ticking. And you see Sievert up there. Oka, what do you do?
Oka kind of like clambers up. Who the fuck threw that desk?
As you're like up here, you know, like on the edge of the building, and you say that, Sievert turns slightly and looks down at you with a gaze so disdainful that it sends chills down your spine.
Rage.
Yes. And Sievert glances back at V. He locks eyes with you through the shimmering flames of his office, and he says, "Unfortunately, darling, I can't finish the job today. I have an appointment to get to. But I'm sure the rest of my order will be more than happy to hack you to pieces. I just regret that I won't be the one wielding the butcher's knife." And he says, "Yagli, let's go." And he turns, and underneath you, Yagli, this chameleon-like creature, winks at you, Manaia, and then goes invisible again. And you feel like your axe where it was pinning, like, hit the ground, as presumably he's like rolling out of the way or getting out from underneath you. Yes, Uka?
Opportunity attack.
Why don't you make an attack of opportunity, Manaia, without disadvantage, because you did make him bleed, so you can kind of surmise where he is, if you want to.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll jab with the butt of my axe here.
Non-lethal?
Non-lethal, yeah.
Go for it.
18.
Yeah, that's sufficient. Why don't you... Well, it doesn't even matter.
Do I have to roll damage?
No, because he only has 1 hit point. You smack him, and he lets out
Say, no, you don't.
His last
No, you
words
don't.
are, sorry, boss. And he falls unconscious again, and he is back again visible. And Sievert lets out a useless scum. But he just sort of... He steps over you, Oka. Like his big foot steps over you. And he begins to fall down the four stories.
Me too.
You're gonna grab on him? Okay, make an acrobatics check.
I don't know. I feel like this isn't how he wants this to end. I'll go too. Wow, I'm rolling really good right now, which I shouldn't say. Acrobatics, you say?
Yes.
23. I rolled an 18.
Wow,
Plus 5 to
okay.
dex.
23, yeah, that's more than enough. Sievert, as he falls past you, you notice, you jump onto him, and he lets out a grunt as you grab onto his face area. And Sievert has grabbed onto the rope of your grappling hook after falling and is using it to rappel his way down.
Oh no, this is if he's going over me and trying to use my rope, I'm like jumping onto his face, to push him down so that he's falling. Yeah, and he's falling on his back, and I'm gonna land on top of him.
Okay.
That's what I like.
You get on him.
On top of the desk.
I'm gonna have him make a roll to see if he's able to grab onto the rope, even though he's kind of blinded here. He is not. He rolled a 4 and a 5. So the two of you go soaring through the air, falling through nothingness, and you are gonna take you're gonna take some damage. You will take 1d6 bludgeoning damage.
Oh no, I'm not.
Yeah, you are. You're still gonna
1d6?
take bludgeoning. You're still gonna take bludgeoning damage, no matter who's, So as you're soaring through the air, the two of you are sort of like spinning in midair. You're like midair combat time. So the two of you are going to take. There's 4 stories, let's say. So.
Is it possible for me to use my radiant soul here?
Yeah, to sprout wings.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, okay, make a strength contest against Sievert.
Oh boy.
Against his
Maybe
weight.
this was a bad idea.
He's
Against
really
him
heavy,
chunk.
and he's gonna grab onto you.
Against his chunk.
Against his trunk.
Ouch. Ooh, this is... Wow. Still rolling really good. Okay. Strength contest?
Yes.
An unnatural 20.
Yeah, you are able to wrestle your way out of his grip as your wings come out and you begin to hover in the air, and he's unable to hold on to you, and his grip slips. And he is going to take 6, 11, 16, 20 points of bludgeoning damage as he falls through the air. And he lands, boom, boom, right on his back in the middle of the street. And a huge crater is created from the impact, actually, like a small crater, because he's so heavy. And Oka, your wings are like flapping. And as you're flapping, you notice that a lot of people are like staring now. There's like a small crowd looking at this burning building. And as your wings come out, people gasp and point at you, and notice you.
Oh, I hate that shit.
And a lot of people also gasp as Sievert hits the ground, and you notice a lot of people immediately rush to help him. Rush forward and they're trying to help him. Dewey, you also see...
What about Dewey?
Yeah.
What about Dewey?
Can I pick up my sword and walk over to where he's fallen and like do the stance that Oka's just told me, like right over his...
You're gonna try to execute him in front of all these people?
As intimidating as I can be.
Are you gonna try to attack him with the sword?
No.
Or are you just holding it over his sword?
No, I'm just
Over
gonna
his
like...
head?
Yeah, so he doesn't get up and...
Okay, you draw the sword. It's vibrating a little in your grasp. It seems really unstable. As you step forward with the sword with the intention of scaring this guy, a lot of people have already swarmed over to Sievert. They're like swarming over. Sievert's like on the ground. He's like holding his head. He looks maybe concussed or something. But as you approach with the sword, several bystanders are like, "What the hell are you doing? Get away from him! This man's injured!" And like some people are pointing at Oka and whispering and gasping. As someone else,
Oh, come on!
you see like a young halfling boy say, "Did you see that, Mama? That flying devil attacked Mr. Rathstone." And like someone else, they're all whispering, and you hear snatches of terrorists.
Well, Oka's gonna just kind of quick. As soon as they see Sievert fall, is gonna just like dip right back into the burning building where the party is.
Okay.
Time to go, I think.
Yeah, at this point, you can hear all of you, except for Dewey on the ground, can hear the thundering footsteps of several dozen people coming up the stairs, maybe just moments away from breaking down the door. Manaia, you have this limp chameleon lizard folk man pinned underneath your axe. Everything's on fire. Everything is completely on fire. V, you're standing in the middle of the study in front of this wall of flame. Oka, you're floating in front of the study. What do you all do? Max, you're wielding the sword in front of Sievert as other people stare and point at you and whisper.
Yes, Manaia?
Oh, okay. I wanted to go first. So Manaia is going to, as quickly as she possibly can, just like really quick, run down, see if this chameleon has any other weapons on him.
Okay, make an investigation
daggers?
check as you're like touching his body. That's gonna be, let's say y'all only have like a very quick reaction before the doors are broken down. What are the rest of you doing?
I'm motioning
at
V.
the same. Sorry.
Go ahead.
At the same time, I'm gonna point at the sword and say, "Oka, the sword! Grab it!"
Like the poisoned one?
Yeah.
Okay. Is that what you're gonna do with your action, Oka? You have like half an action, not even really. Okay, so you grab the sword, you see...
I mean, it was really what I was motioning. Yeah, if it's across the room.
It is across
Kick
the
it! Oka's kind of motioning for V to get into their arms, so they can...
Take
I figure
this
Manaia
away.
can use the thing and Oka can fly them both down.
V is gonna cast Ray of Frost across the fire on the ground to put it out,
Okay.
and then run over to Oka and like now V is finally like letting her big tough girl facade fall as she's like really fucked up and she's like, Oka, I need help.
Yep, get in. Oh, this is gonna be so cute. Are you ready? Oka's just gonna kind of. Oh, Connie's frozen for me. I don't know what's
I'm not
going on.
frozen
That's funny.
for myself.
Oh.
I'm still active. Okay.
You're frozen for me?
So V as...
But
Go ahead.
yeah, I think Oka's gonna be like, all right, is grabbing V in like, you know, like child style, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Maybe how they used to carry some of their siblings around. And is going to not take off towards the ground and Dewey, but is... Oh wait, Manaia can't fly.
Yeah, why don't why don't you think about what you're gonna do as before we take a break? Manaia, what did you get for your investigation roll?
Crap, I just had it. 8.
8. You find 2 daggers.
All right,
that are
throw them aside.
Strapped to his body.
Throw them aside. Potato sack and book it for the window.
Okay, you potato sack and book it to the window. As V and Oka have a moment where V jumps, or Oka scoops up V, right? And at the ground floor, Dewey, as you're surrounded by all these people gasping, you see people are like picking up pieces of parchment and sketching your face, sketching your likeness. And you see like several adventuring parties now. They look like adventurers. They look like you, all unique and interesting, are approaching as well. And their hands are going to their weapons as they look at you. And as the sword vibrates in your hands, Dewey, you hear a voice in your head go, Father? And let's cut to break.
Wait, I didn't get my D4.
You didn't get your
backstory rolled.
Let's cut to break. We'll be back in 10 minutes, everyone. Hang tight. We love y'all. Thank you so much for watching so far. We'll be back in 10. And enjoy these promo reels and fan art reels. Peace. We'll be back. Ah!
If I go fast instead of slowly, instead of last, if my father survives me, if I explode, if I go up in smoke, if I go quietly, when I go quiet, give my heart to my mother, she'll know what to do, give my songs to my lover, she'll know what to do, give my bones to my father, my poems to my sister, my love to one another, give it all to each other. And I suppose the soul can go to the children. I suppose the trash can go to the museum. I suppose the dreams can go in the casket. I suppose the blood will go where you ask it. Will go where you ask it. Will spill where you ask it. Will spill where you ask. I'll spill where you ask. I'll spill where you ask. I'll spill. I'll spill. I'll spill. I'll spill. I was once the tree, and I was the paper.
Beneath the sands of time, a castle and its undead court stirs. Deep in the darkest woods, a wild hunt rages on. And at the edge of a fallen city, a never-ceasing hunger gnaws at the ribs of unlucky souls. In the heart of Vyre, the unholy empire, Queen Saphira of the thrice-cursed House of Fane adjusts her grandmother's crown, fully aware that she is not the only devil scheming in her throne room. And somewhere, ignorant to it all, are 4 bad heroes, with no idea just how unprepared they are. Bad Heroes is a Pathfinder actual play podcast set in a homebrew world with a love of storytelling, roleplay, and the more charming forces of hell. Find us on Spotify, Apple, and wherever you get your podcasts.
It's the blue light saying, come over. It's the blue light in my coat on my shoulders. Lying in your room, playing with your hair. Lying to myself, saying that there's nothing there. There's nothing that we share. No reason to care. No way of knowing where this is going. What are we doing here? What are we doing here? What are we doing here? What are we doing? It's the cold light of the moon when I'm walking home. It's the warm light through my window when I wake up alone. It's the white lies when our friends ask what's going on. It's the white lies when I say we're just fucking and that's all. Laughing in your room, riding in your car, promising myself I won't let this go too far. And yet here we are, so. And yet here we are, so. What are we doing here? What are we doing here? What are we doing here? What are we doing? I'm not your boyfriend, but I'm somebody. I'm not emotionally available, mentally stable, but I'd like to be. Be the blue light when we're out with our friends. Be the blue light asking where the night should end. Be the blue light saying, come over. Be the blue light in the coat on your shoulders. Lying in my room, playing solitaire. Lying to myself, saying I'm too cool to care. But you're coming over, and you wanna know what are we doing here? What are we doing here? What are we doing here? What are we doing? What are we doing here? What are we doing here? What are we doing here? What are we doing? 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 What are we doing here? College parties, college drinking, all you outcasts gather round, roll a fat one, pour the shots, give this dead all you've got. Let the liquor loosen your mouth, make a bow with friendly tongues. Call your lover, say you're sorry, then go back to making fun. Your friends are drunk and useless. Welcome to senior year. The night is young and ruthless, and you want to disappear in the hallway, in the hall, in the hallway, in the hall. You can hear them all around you, broken hearts and blushing sighs. Truth's a hard pill to swallow, but it'll still get you high.
Hi, everybody. Welcome back. I'm really glad that what you said, C, didn't linger on your captioning service right before we came
you're
back.
welcome.
Oh, God. How awful. I'm going to unpause our music player, and let's get right back into the action with, let's say... with everyone but Dewey up top at the very top of the building. So, V, you're now scooped up in Oka's hands. Manaia, you're carrying this limp chameleon lizard folk guy, and you're rappelling down with grappling hook, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Why don't you just make an athletics check for me to see if you can do that one-handed?
Must I?
See how well you do it, let's say.
Swear to Mahu, the waves are not in my favor today. Non-natural 20.
Yeah, you. It's really awesome. It's like Mission Impossible. You manage to rappel your way down as Oka. What are you doing?
I look to Manaia and kind of I think Oka gestures kind of vaguely in the which direction are the mines?
You would know that they're in the very back of the city. So if you're on foot, it'll take maybe an hour to get there.
I'm not on foot. I'm on wing. Or like, can I recall anything like a fountain or something like that that's rather secluded that's in the direction of the mines? I can only fly for a minute, so.
In the direction, like a secluded area where you can rest without being seen?
Ideally.
Why don't you roll intelligence for me to recall with history if you have the proficiency?
Oh, I do, actually.
Okay.
Surprise, surprise.
Yeah, when does
Okay,
history
well-
ever come in handy in D&D? Like, never, right? Or it's only when the GM wants to lore dump.
Basically.
10.
Yeah, pretty much.
Let's say you can have an advantage because you've lived in Dabathati before.
Woo! Thank you. Okay, well, that's not much better. 13.
13. Yeah, you can kind of recall maybe like a little secluded. There are quite a few like sculpture parks in Dabathati that have like little hidden nooks and crannies between various larger pieces. Even though they're closed to the public after a certain time, and it's getting to that time, you know that they're usually not very heavily patrolled, and a lot of youth like to loiter in these sculpture parks and like smoke their fantasy cigarettes and whatnot. So you remember one such sculpture park where maybe you would dawdle and hang out when you were younger. That is in the Thristy district, which is a little out of the way. It's a kind of a detour, but it is closer to the back. Instead of going straight to the mines, you would have to go a little farther east to get there, but you do know it's a pretty secure place.
Okay, but I wouldn't be able to fly there with my 1 minute
No, you
of
would
Radiant
not.
Soul.
You would not.
Okay. In that case, Oka's just gonna be like, I'll be right back, with still cradling V, and is gonna just kind of like go up and over the most adjacent like rooftops,
Okay.
just to try to like get out of the crowd, you know?
Okay.
Just like dip up and over the crowd as far as they can basically take themselves
Okay.
in a minute.
Okay. It's getting okay. It's getting
Sorry. Let's
No.
keep doing that a few more times, shall we?
Finish your sentence.
I'm gonna find an alley and drop down into it.
Okay. As you carrying the flap your way over the various rooftops, yeah, you see the crowd craning their necks up and pointing at you. And Dewey, you see like the person doing the portrait of you turn and immediately try to sketch a portrait of Oka. And you like hear gasps and whispers and people are pointing. Someone else says, "What's going on? Are they getting away? Were they the ones who did this to you, Mr. Wrathstone?" But Sievert's still a little concussed, and he's like, "What's happening? Fall. And he's like slowly sitting up straight. But Oka, you flap away before you hear or see anything else. And Manaia, by this point, you have reached the bottom. And as you appear at the bottom, a lot of people are like, you see those adventuring parties approach, their weapons are half drawn, and they look very intent about interrogating you or detaining you, perhaps, both you and Dewey. And as this tension continues to mount, Oka, are you communicating in any way to your party mates where you're going?
I said I would be right back.
Okay, but you are gone. You swoop over the rooftops and you're gone. And Dewey and Manaia, the two of you see, okay, just fuck off. And Dewey, you hear the same voice in your head go, "What's happening,
I
Father?"
look around.
"No, I'm down here. I'm in your hand." And you look down at this sword in your hand, and the cracked gem, with every word that is in your head, the gem seems to sort of shine a little bit. What's happening?
Everything's okay. I try and duck and like get out of the crowd.
Okay. Okay, what about you, Manaia? You see Dewey start to try to head for an alleyway, let's say, and run away from the crowd.
Okay.
Do you leave
Manaia
the
knows
grappling
how to.
hook behind?
Yeah.
Okay.
Manaia knows how to explain herself if she gets detained, and she can trust that the military here will be just, probably.
Okay, so in that case, are you not going to roll stealth? Because I'm going to make Dewey try to roll stealth to run away.
I'm not going to roll stealth. I'm going to do something
Great.
different, but you can.
Okay, but
let's
you're
talk
going
that
to follow
first.
Dewey?
No.
Okay, you're going to go a different way? We're splitting?
Yes.
Okay, Manaia, you turn, you walk in the, let's say, the opposite direction. Dewey, you try...
Wait.
No, Connie.
What?
Manaia's staying.
Oh, you're staying?
Manaia's staying.
Okay, you're staying.
I'm going to do
field
something
questions.
different,
Okay.
but resolve Dewey first.
Okay. So, Dewey, as you try to slink away, why don't you roll stealth against these people's perception, let's say?
14.
Just keep rolling until one of them
They see you.
succeeds.
They see you. There's so many
Alright.
people. They see you. As you're trying to stealth away, you're like creeping. One of the adventurers draws his longsword and says, "Stop! You! Are you responsible for this?" It's clearly addressing you, Dewey.
I hide my sword and I pull out like a random trinket and I'm like, "We're making a movie."
A what? What is that word? What does that mean? Is that some sort of device with which to attack innocent people?
No, it's like like a documentary.
You're
type.
documenting your crimes?
No, this was acting. Any of these words making sense to you?
Acting? This is a play?
Yes.
It looks pretty real
Yes.
to me, right, fellas? Everyone's like
Special
murmuring.
effects.
Everyone's murmuring like, I don't know, this looks pretty real. And as this is happening, Sievert seems to be regaining more consciousness and like more idea about what's happening. And you can see sort of like life coming back to his eyes as he's like touching his forehead. And you also hear a bunch of shouts from the top of the building as presumably people have broken down the door and are now looking at the empty burning room at the top. Manaia, what are you trying to do?
She's gonna take all 7.5 feet of her with this chameleon string over her back and walk straight for Severt.
Okay.
Let me know when I get there.
Okay, as you approach Sievert, you see a few people get in your way. Someone who looks like maybe they belong to this guild. A sort of young human woman, the same woman. This is just sort of like a side who was taking a bath, and she's in like a towel, and she goes, "Stop. What? Why do you have High Agent Yagli slung over your shoulder, bleeding profusely, and what's going on here?"
She's one of the actors.
What?
Dewey.
No, I'm not.
Not you.
Let me handle this.
Okay.
I am returning this young, very talented man to the man whom he serves. If you'll excuse me.
Is he dead?
No.
He's just unconscious?
Yes.
Well, what? And you hear Sievert's voice go, "It's okay." And he slowly pushes himself to a stand. He's just about your height, Manaia. Maybe a little taller.
He's shorter than...
Maybe just a little, you're not sure.
Shorter.
Didn't you say he was like 6'2"?
Oh yeah, maybe I
You
did.
did.
Okay, he's
He's
shorter.
shorter.
He's shorter.
Yeah.
Fine. This doesn't matter. He's shorter than you. Okay, whatever. No one's taller than Manaia.
We will
Okay,
defend Manaya's
Fine,
height
fine,
to
fine.
the death.
Whatever. Sievert stands up, and you see, he dusts off the ash from his body, and a lot of presumably guild members rush forward. And they help him up. He waves his hand dismissively, and they stand back, and he pulls himself up to his full height, and he says, "I'll take Yagli." And you hand over Yagli, and he just sort of holds Yagli in one hand.
As I'm handing him over, I say, "That was a dirty trick. Very dishonorable. You're lucky I don't kill."
Well, you're lucky there are a lot of onlookers and witnesses. And Sievert sort of says that whispering to you so no one else hears it. And then he turns and he hands Yagli's limp body off to the woman who goes, oh! She's trying to keep her towel up, but still prop up this chameleon.
Speaking of onlookers, does anyone have that truth magic here? I'd like to explain what happened.
Yeah, so sure. An old man steps forward, leaning on his cane, and says, "I do. I cast a zone of truth." And are you going to resist, Manaia?
No, not at all.
Okay, you feel something wash over you, very warm and wave, like in the southern Sea. And Sievert goes, and the old man goes, "Okay. We can only speak truths now." Dewey, you would also be affected. Are you resisting?
Sure.
Okay, make a wisdom save.
We have a good case. You don't have to lie.
I would love to not be forced to lie. 12.
12, that is not sufficient.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you resist, but it washes over you too, and you feel your lips loosen. So, Manaia, what do you say?
First, on behalf of my friends, I apologize for the harm we have caused your guild leader. It was an act of self-defense.
Okay. Sievert says, "This is true. It was an act of self-defense after one of your party tried to kill me." And people are muttering "Oh, well, he can't speak a lie. This must be the truth as well." And the old man says, "What say you to the masses, young one?" Directing his attention to you, Manaia.
Okay, I literally can't remember. It was him that attacked first, though, right?
Yeah. He did the
Yes.
cold breath.
Yeah.
Yes, he did cold breath first.
In my memory, you attacked my friend first. And she's saying all of this with a not directly to him, but so everyone can hear.
Mm-hmm.
I'm speaking quietly because I can't shout in my house.
Sure. Sievert turns and addresses the crowd as well. He says, "Who attacked first does not matter. You stormed into my office, accompanied by one of my own, bringing someone from my past whom I had sworn to forget. Demanding what? I don't know, and I don't care. I am Sievert Wrathstone, Fang of Tehran, leader of the Chromium Order, I have done much good for Dabathati and the rest of the Republic of Talmud, and all the hamlets that live in and around the God Spine. And everyone's sort of like nodding along as he's speaking. He seems to be very well respected and known by the people here. And he goes, would you believe the word and the intentions of an outsider over my own? Outsider, tell me. And he turns and addresses you, Manaia. Have you relations in Dabathati?
Manaia pauses to think.
Do you have?
Yes?
Was what,
I mean,
without spoiling
Oka-
anything.
Oka lived here.
So you're like trying to like, that's not a deliberate lie. You're like, yeah, I guess I could say that.
I suppose?
You suppose.
I'll have to think on that.
And people are like murmuring. They don't really seem to. And he goes, please, no, answer directly. Do you have any blood relations in Dabathati? A sibling, a mother, a father, a parent?
None that I am aware.
None that she is aware of. And people begin to murmur even more. He turns and addresses you, Dewey. Have you any blood relations in Dabathati?
No.
No. And the murmuring sort of mounts, and he smiles as though he's caught you in a trap, and says, then how did you get in?
Wait. You said we burst into your room?
In my memory.
We were led there by one of yours.
Burst
They
led
caught us.
doesn't
They
matter.
caught us at the gate and demanded that we, what was it, get taught a lesson by your guild's leader, apparently you.
Is that so? And he snaps his fingers, and sort of hobbling out forward out of the crowd, you notice a familiar Dragonborn, not the one that was knocked unconscious and force choked by Sievert, but one of the ones who was accompanying him, one of the friends of Arkan. And he looks really scared. And Sievert turns to the old man and says, this one, is he also affected by your truth spell? The old man goes, yes, he tried to resist it, but could not. And Sievert says, very well. You, tell me, how exactly did these two and their friends who fled the scene, might I say, and people sort of look around at each other, unsure, how did they get into the city? And this guy goes, well, I woke up this morning, I had a big old bowl of congee, I doused it down with some beer and some bacon, I didn't fill the toilet paper roll, even though I said I did, and Sievert goes, get to the point! And he goes, yes, my fang. We were sent out on a quest, of course, to find monsters and kill them. We didn't find any, but on our way back into Dabathati, we ran into this big burly man. I think he called himself Ronnie, as well as these two and the other one that flew off with those big glowing wings. Ronnie seemed to want to get into the city but didn't know anyone, so Arkan said that, they kind of got into an argument of some sort, and Arkan said, well, I'll let you in, but you would beat him up as payment. Said he was going to take him to you, and then you would kick his ass, maybe kill him. And Sievert goes, that's enough, and turns to the rest of the
So you would assault an outsider, one that you seemingly had no relations to, this Ronnie person, as payment to enter the city.
There's sort of whispering among the crowd as people seem very divided and torn between who to believe, what to believe, and how to feel. And Sievert just sort of snorts, another mist of cold coming out. And he says, I don't have time for this. I need to get to an appointment. The Dragonborn that he sort of forced to give his testimony says, well, should we... Oh, hydrate. Should we seize them, my fang? And Sievert goes, no. Have your excuses. The people shall decide for themselves. You all already know the good I have done for the city. they have not proven themselves. In fact, within the first hour of getting here, they've burned my building. They've caused me to fall and create a crater in the middle of the road. They've made me late for my appointments. They've endangered the lives of more than just themselves by setting the building on fire. And everyone's like whispering. They seem torn. The crowd seems torn based on what's been going on. And he says, I can't be late for my appointment. Let them go, but keep an eye on them. And Sievert turns and he begins to stride through the crowd and leave. The crowd very confusedly looks around. The adventurers sheath their swords again, now that the conflict has been more or less settled. And the crowd begins to disperse.
Manaia looks up at the... Sorry.
I was just gonna say, see, we knew that we could leave Manaia with crowd control. It was all good.
So the old man goes, oh, okay. Well, I'm just gonna...
Sir,
Yes?
I'm so sorry to bother you. You seem the magical type.
Yes, I'm a wizard.
Would you have any water spells? I'd like to help put out this fire.
Of course, certainly. It seems like they're getting it under control as well. And you look up and you see that there's like you can't really see what's happening because from your perspective, but you see that the fire is being contained in some way. The flames are dying down. But I appreciate your willingness to help, young one. What is your name?
Manaia.
Manaia, it's a pleasure. My name is Magic Mike. I'm a magic wizard of Tapazati. Can cast many spells. Yes.
Honey, try again. Just try again.
Nope, it's Magic Mike.
Oh my god.
I wander
sound-
the streets, helping where I can to settle disputes.
Your work is well appreciated.
Thank you, and I thank you for not trying to resist my spell like that other whippersnapper did.
I gotta
of
go!
course.
Alright, go, be on your way, but the eyes of Dabathati are watching you.
I
Careful,
leave.
don't get in too much- Oh, okay, bye-bye. As you leave, and the two of you, I'm assuming, are setting off to find Oka.
After tossing a coin to my witch, I mean Magic Mike over there, just one gold.
Oh, thank you! This will buy me a nice porridge. More than just a nice porridge. Porridge for days.
I'm gonna walk up to V.
Okay, so V is with Oka.
V is with Oka.
Yes,
Oh, right,
you're right, was
because they
carried.
carried her.
Yeah. So let's go to V and Oka. V and Oka, Oka, you have your wings disappear. You drop V into a vat of acid. No, you drop V into a dark alleyway that's sort of crowded with trash.
I mean, as we're flying, Oka's doing some navigation, trying, to avoid being seen a lot, at least. Like, they are flying through the sky, but people fly through the sky. There are plenty of people who fly through the sky.
Yeah, there are Aarakocra and like pigeons and stuff. And as they soar through the sky, they do like a double take at you.
That ain't no bird.
Yeah.
What? Hold on a minute now.
It's a bird. It's a plane.
In the
That's it.
arms of an angel.
Let's get back to the session.
Yeah, okay. Oka is gonna kind of like, as they're like navigating and flying, look down at V, and since they're already holding her, they're gonna cast Healing Hands.
Okay.
And you'll get 4 more hit points back, I guess. Good for you, buddy.
Hey, that doubles what I had, so.
Yeah, it's like taking a shot of espresso.
Let's see. And while we're in flight and such, V is like, actually like, just gripping you, not for dear life, but because she's bawling her eyes out, and you can just kind of hear murmurs of like, I just had them right there. I had them so much, while she's just weeping over onto your shoulder.
Okay. It's like, okay. Emotional repression. But I think as they kind of lower to the ground into the alley, they're not going to let V go. They're just kind of like gonna float until they're both sitting, and Oka's just gonna kind of keep holding on to V. And they don't really know what's going on, but Oka is going to kind of just like be like, okay, I used to come for my sisters while they were crying, and they liked it when I like patted their head. So Oka's gonna like awkwardly pat V on the back of the head, and be like, "You did really, you did good. It's all right. You'll get him next time, champ."
Champ.
You did good. You did good.
And
You set a
slowly,
whole
like,
building on fire.
yeah. While you're saying that, like I'm slowly, like my grip on you is like slowly releasing, but like I'm still like very much internal, and like the sobbing is like calming down a little bit, but I'm just like, I can't believe he was here all along, and Andake was just too big to look everywhere for him. I can't believe it. I can't believe it. And she like allows herself to like kind of like slump onto the ground a little bit, and like it's just like almost like passes out from exhaustion.
Mm-hmm. Oka gives a kind of, their expression softens a little bit, and they like they go about in action, I think, like fixing V's hair a little bit, and they try to like pull her ripped clothes like a little bit more closed, and they don't have mending or anything like that, but they do I don't really have any magic that can help your clothes exactly, but they do kind of just like dust V off a little bit and just listen quietly.
And then like we won't have V completely pass out, but she'll just like sort of like look up exhausted and just be like, "Thank you so much for rescuing me."
Oh, stop. You rescued yourself. I was just there for fun. Why don't you don't go anywhere, okay? I'll be right back.
And I think V is gonna cast just minor illusion. Like we're in an alleyway, right?
Mm-hmm.
Is it like a clean alleyway, or is it like a pretty grungy?
It's pretty dirty.
Yeah, she's just gonna cast minor illusion to like basically camouflage into the garbage and shit.
Okay.
Okay. I'll be right back. I just have to, go find the tall one and the small one.
Okay.
Okay?
Sounds good.
Oka checks like several times, just in case.
V's disappeared.
And then they kind of... Oh, she looks like garbage now. And then... Oh, got him.
Got him.
And then Oka's gonna like take off in a jog back towards the guild.
Okay. Oka, you deposit V in the trash-filled alleyway, and you leave it to find Manaia and Dewey. Let's have a little soft moment with V. V, as you're curled up pretending to be trash, literally in the middle of a bunch of garbage and stinky yuck. What's going through your head?
V is replaying so many moments in her head. She's thinking about that first game with Sievert 7 years ago. She's thinking about how kind he was when they've, in their relationship, and how utterly despicable he's been in their relationship. And then she's thinking about that last fight, how he was much stronger than he used to be. She's analyzing it. She's like obsessing over every little detail. She's wishing she burned more of that building down than she did. And then like deep down in the pit of her stomach, there's a fire burning of like, next time I'm going to get you, Sievert, and you're not going to get out of my sight.
Mm-hmm. As you're thinking about this, you hear the creak of a door open, and you hear the rush of noise, and the smell of like a kitchen, as you realize that this alleyway is actually like the back alleyway of like that like maybe a restaurant opens into, and you see like 2 workers sort of sweating a lot. They look like maybe sous chefs or like people who work in a kitchen, maybe janitors. They sort of lean. They don't notice you at all because you're like hidden in the garbage. They sort of are talking amongst themselves. These 2 rather grubby looking humans. They're smoking cigarettes. One of them is like, fucking boss man's taking it out on us again. Not my fault a rat got in the stew. Someone else was like, yeah, it is. You're the fucking rat catcher, man. And the guy's like, yeah, I guess I am. And he takes a drag of a cigarette and he goes, hey, going to the pits today? Nah, man, I lost all my savings at the pits last week. You sure? Here they got some real good beasties up in there tonight. Really? Like what? Like manticores? Chimeras? Nah, those new beasties, you know? The one with all the eyes and the teeth and stuff? Yeah, my money's on the teethy one. I mean, how are you gonna fight something with a bunch of teeth? It's just gonna bite you all up. No. They're arguing amongst each other, and then one of them goes, "Oh shit, here he comes. Just tell him I had the week off, okay? And I wasn't able to set any traps." And their conversation sort of fades as they disappear back into the kitchen and the door closes. By this point, Oka, you have found Manaia and Devin, and are now leading them back to the... Oh, sorry!
Manaia
Oh my
and
god!
Devin?
Manaia and Dewey! I'm so sorry! You found Manaia and Dewey and are leading them back to V.
Did those people say the piss or the pits?
The pits.
Pits.
Not
I
the
need to
piss,
know.
The pits.
Pits. It's your accent, dear. Oka kind of looks a little bit closer at Manaia. You look a little green around the gills, and also there's a huge fucking hole in your back.
It's fine. It's nothing. Let's go find V.
Jeez, what the hell happened up there? Oka's gonna, walk and talk.
Dewey's frantically trying to talk and listen to the sword. Like a little bit of a madman.
Yeah, as you're walking, you hear the sword presumably speak in your brain and say, "Where are we going, Father? Where are we headed? Everything's so new."
I just have to get some more quiet to talk. It's okay. It's okay.
Okay, quiet talk. Who am I? What am I doing here? I have nothing. No impulses, no desires except... kill! I wanna fight! I wanna kill! That's why you made me, right, Father? To kill?
I quickly sheathe the sword in the thing in my bag.
And the sheath seems to dampen its voice. As soon as you put it in the sheath, it seems to be unable to contact you anymore.
Cool.
Oh dear. So what the hell happened in there?
Sevet and V knew each other. We got into a fight. They got into a fight. I was gonna stay back unless V was in danger, but he pulled a fast one. That chameleon that you saw?
Hmm?
Yeah. Got me good. Almost went down. But thank you, really. I don't know if V thanked you, but I didn't want to see her go down like that.
Oh, stop. What did I do? Oka punches Manaia softly in the arm. Oh, fuck. Sorry. I forgot. Come on. Well, I don't have any more of the healing juice. But I know somewhere we can stay. So we should get there quick. Oh, she's in the trash alley. Just this way.
Speaking of which, you soon arrive at the trash alley. You don't really see V anywhere.
Where's V?
She's in there. V.
I let minor illusion fade away, and I'm revealed just sort of still laid out, like I'm in fetal position, laying against the brick wall, like against the edge of the building.
What the hell?
Oka is, I think, maybe the first to go over and just kind of just hoists V up. And it's like, come on, baby girl, let's go somewhere you can lay down, huh?
That sounds like a wonderful idea.
Okay.
And we just have to. God, it's a long fucking walk to the mines. Where was Ravi's house?
By the mines. She didn't really have a house. She lived in one of the bunks.
Okay. Well, that's where we're going.
Okay. So you hoist V up, and the four of you limp your way through the district of Thristy. As you walk with V in tow, V, are you telling them what was going on with Sievert? Because all they really know is that the two of you had history, you popped off, and this is affecting you. Or are you still keeping quiet?
Actually, I'm going to tell them about the conversation about the pits and having these creatures with teeth.
Okay.
That they're using these creatures for what sounds like entertainment.
Have I ever heard of the pits?
Yes. You may have even contributed to them. Okay?
I'm sure I did.
So the pits are an illegal blood sport. It's like cockfighting, but with monsters. And like adventurers guilds will like go out, into the Godspine, or like just out into, the Scrublands or whatever, and they would bring back the meanest monsters they could find, and sick them on each other in the pits, and there'd be a lot of betting and a lot of gambling to see which monster would be the best monster to fight. Occasionally, they also throw people in there. Either the people volunteer, or they've gotten on the wrong side of, and you would be familiar with this, the Aurochs Guild, which is the chief criminal guild in Dabathati. Aurochs, O-R-O-X-X.
XXX underscore
X.
Black Sonic underscore.
It's actually rendering it completely, correctly on your captioning service. Yeah, the username, which I think is really funny.
God.
Yeah, but you know it as the Aurochs Guild. Runs these pits.
The pits. Yep. Yeah. I went down there a few times, but wasn't really my thing, but god damn if they aren't the one fucking place you have to go if you want to sell monster parts down there, or monsters themselves. Might be an interesting lead to try to see if we can get some more of the sacks, I guess.
V's going to kind of stop a little bit, and she's like, Manaia, I want to thank you so much for coming with me and being there with me. That person, Sievert, he and I were lovers with each other for a time, and I believed him in so many ways, and that is one of my biggest regrets I've ever had in my life. He took anything that I had from me, and I've been hunting him down, trying to, with very little success up until this moment. And so of all the people in all of Andake, to run into him in Dabathati, here I could not have imagined that would have happened. So, Sievert does need to die, and I'm going to make sure he dies at some point.
You know I don't condone death. But I think you burning down his place was very well justified.
Yeah, you fucking kicked his ass, dude.
Oh, she should have seen her. She walked up, and her illusion fell off, and she said,
"Oh,
and
shut
she
up.
said,
No way."
and she said, "You're fucking dead, mate." And then blasted the bookshelves. It was all on fire, and oh my!
Books? Wait, collateral damage!
No,
Come on.
nothing important. Nothing important. Don't worry.
Yeah, shitty books, Dewey. Shitty books.
You have single-handedly burned down the only remaining records of a long-lost language. I hope you know this. Just kidding. The four of you are walking through, this is kind of like a really poor part of Dabathati. You see like quite a few homeless people out and about, a lot more than you're used to actually, Oka. Dabathati's refugee crisis seems to be bursting at the seam. There's a lot more people, poor people especially, living in these areas. You see like tents and like little like tent towns set up as well. So go ahead, keep role playing.
Oka is keeping their eyes peeled for anyone they might recognize. I assume that a lot of these people are probably refugees, but probably are also some of the people who work in the mines. So Oka has is like holding up V with one arm, but is like really is a little bit distracted and trying to scan all the faces.
So Oka, you know that people who work in the mines usually live by the mines. But if they were fired or if they quit or something, then they would live here most likely.
Manaia's going to keep.
Not quite yet. Go ahead, Manaia.
Manaia's going to keep over-exaggerating V's accounts, basically saying what V did, but with like an Oka twist.
Oka will respond, and they'll give the appropriate whoops and yeehaws whenever necessary. Kind of like jostling V a little, like, yeah, you really got him.
And this actually does improve V's mood. She starts laughing along as these stories get more and more ridiculous.
Yeah.
And you see her gain some life back.
Oh, that's sweet. And as the four of you continue to walk, you notice something that has definitely not been there before, Oka. It seems to be sort of like a table set up with a really kind of ramshackle tent over it. And there's a long line of homeless people and displaced people. And you see there's you smell it, a stew going. Someone seems to be serving stew to these refugees. And you notice that these people are dressed in these green robes that look kind of familiar to you, and you notice as one of them is turning around to scoop more stew into someone's bowl, you see a patch that's been sewn into the back of their robe that resembles a chrysalis. And as soon as you guys are passing and looking at this line, one of the people who's serving stew looks up and recognizes you, V, and you recognize him. It is Balraj Show, this half elf with the with the goatee that we met a while back while traveling to Dr. Aluso's, and he goes, over Veronica, over here.
We don't have time to chat.
Wait, hold on, hold on to this, brother. And he hands the ladle to the person who's serving, and runs up to you, V.
Oh, hello, brother Balraj. I told you I had to take care of one thing, and then I would rush. The winds of the chrysalis took me all the way to Delpathy.
I never doubted you, not even once, and it's good to see your companions as well. Though you look a little battered, and his concerned gaze lingers upon you. Manaia says, "Oh, do you mind if I try to help?"
Her first. She's been through it.
Oh, absolutely. I don't know if you were touched by the chrysalis, shouldn't you be able to heal yourself? Oh, but maybe you, of course. Sorry, you haven't been inducted yet. You've just received their visions. And Balraj is going to put hands upon you. Are you going to allow them?
Yeah.
Okay.
I've been inside his brain. I trust him.
Okay. You regain 5, 8, 10, 14 points of 14 hit points as Balraj.
Oh, so this guy can heal better than I can.
Well, you're not a cleric, you're a blood hunter. This guy rests his hands upon you, and you feel so much better as your wounds begin to stitch up. They leave some knotted muscle behind, but they're no longer actively bleeding. Balraj goes, "Oh, what happened to you? Who did this to you?"
It's someone who absolutely despises the chrysalis, I can tell you that. And I took every ounce of this power that the chrysalis has bestowed upon me to vanquish this foe, but that's why I'm a little exhausted. I could not heal myself, but thank you so much for your care.
Is this person still alive? Do we need to bring the full force of the children down upon this person who treated our prophet like and he's getting real mad.
Well, explain it all.
Right, Balraj, first, if you could help my friend, then perhaps it's time that we meet the Chrysalis folks and have a conversation.
Oh, yes, of course. I've just been waiting for you to get here. I would be more than happy to introduce you to... and as he's talking, he rests his hands upon you, Manaia, and you also regain 14.
No,
You're stopping him? Okay.
No. I'm okay.
Are you sure? But Prophet Veronica said...
Save your magics for those who need it more.
Oh, I have plenty of magic to spare. The chrysalis is generous with its offerings. I could even heal a bee if I felt like it, or an ant upon the ground, and still have plenty of magic to spare.
She said no.
Oh, sorry.
You'll have to excuse my friends, they're a little less initiated into the chrysalis.
I understand, but if they're your companions, Prophet Veronica, then we must treat them with grace. Speaking of which, Grace, this is Prophet Veronica and her companions. I was telling you about her a while ago. And the other person who's lady is like a young human woman who's like very busy, like helping people. She's like, oh, is that so? I'm a little busy over here. And as the four of you, are like talking, with these chrysalis members, you sort of hear a disgruntled kind of growl coming from across the street, and you see several people like poking their heads out of like a house, and one of them goes, "Go away! We don't worship false gods here! Get the fuck out of here!"
What do I have?
Sort of like a half orc woman.
Yeah. V is going to... I do have a slot left. Use disguise self to just like make all of her clothes first off look pristine, and then just grow just a little bit and like have a little bit of a more swole look.
Well, hey, what the? And like, do you see the half orc woman like rub her eyes? Hey, you with those freaky cult people? They worship false idols. Get the fuck out of here. We only recognize you to Buffy.
Friends, let us not fight in these times. These times are too wild. Let us instead not worry about which gods we honor, and let's just help each other. Let's do good things. Since our gods are missing at the moment, let's just do nice things in their honor.
Unibathi's not missing. He's just taking leave of absence. And you know what? Fine. Doesn't matter anyway. They're gonna make all this rabble rousing illegal. Yeah, they're voting on it. Ha! And she like slams the window shutters shut. And Balraj goes, "Yes, unfortunately that is true. The consuls are putting the legitimacy of our religion, our organization to a vote in just a few nights. I fear that public opinion, despite all the good we're trying to do," and he gestures to the soup line, "that clearly our government doesn't have the resources or desire to do, is being overlooked. But please, unless you're headed somewhere, I'd love to introduce you to the rest of our organization that's headquartered here anyway."
We are actually heading somewhere.
Oh. Well,
Balraj, you always seem to meet me when I have to be somewhere else, but I promise you, it is obvious that fate of the chrysalis has brought us together again. You cannot deny that this is a sign of really exciting times.
Yes.
And we will... I know where you are.
Yes,
I know where the chrysalis is. You've told me. So I will be there soon. And I will let the ways of the chrysalis be mysterious, so I cannot give you timeline, but soon.
Certainly, Prophet Veronica. Well, please be on your way. We'll be here, and of course we gave you the address, so you'll know where to find us. Bye-bye.
Friend, Balraj, was it?
Yes, Balraj.
We may not worship the same deity, but your work, helping those in need, is well appreciated.
Certainly, of course. And, due to all the help we've been rendering the community, we've been getting a lot more recruitments, too. It's so wonderful. I just want to shine the light of the chrysalis down upon everyone I meet. Dewey, you put up a thumbs up and smile awkwardly. See? This guy knows what I'm talking about. And Balraj sees you off as you head to the mines. Okay?
I hate that guy.
As you leave, just one last thing before I hand it back to y'all. You notice, all of you notice someone familiar in the soup line. It's Costas. Has their hood up. It doesn't seem to have noticed the four of you yet. Oka does the thing. Does the fake bitch thing.
I'm not going to try not to be seen, but I'm not going to, at this point, I think, engage with Costas.
Okay, that's fine.
Manaia can't not be seen. She's
huge.
yeah.
And can't you like duck a little bit? Okay, fine. Don't duck. Whatever.
So, Devin, what were you trying to say?
Oh, Manaia was gonna say to Oka, he may worship or whisper, he may worship a false idol, but they're doing good work. Let them be.
Worshipping a false idol is never good work.
Worshipping any idol is weird. What are you all saying?
We should get out of earshot before we have this conversation.
Yeah, V is just like...
we should also let the doctor know about this.
You're right.
You do have
As
to
soon
check
as
in.
we get to Robbie's place,
Yeah.
we can check in.
Okay, this is how I kind of want to end the session. The four of you manage to make your way to the mines. You wind your... It's getting real late. The lights are dimming. And you make your way through the sleepy district of Thristi, and you make your way back into the central district of Suraksha, and you finally make it to the back of Dabathati, where you walk past the Senate house. It's this huge like mansion with multiple courtyards that has like guards around it all the time. It's very opulent, actually, standing in pretty stark contrast to a lot of the poverty you've seen. And as you walk past the Senate house, you can see, like, Oka, you especially can see the mines looming in the distance. It's sort of like this back wall of Dabathati soaring up hundreds of stories, has a bunch of holes drilled into it, leading into tunnels. You see, like, a system of ropes and, like pulley system that allows people to, like, go up the walls and enter various tunnels in the very back. And you also see, like, sort of built against the walls and also on the floor, a bunch of, like, bunks. Like, very tiny, like, sardine-like bunks. Okay, you're familiar with it. That the miners sleep in when they're not mining. It's like the free room and board that they get for being miners. And as you approach, you see that there are like several guards patrolling. There's no like wall, but there's like a low perimeter fence that sort of demarcates when the city ends and the mines begin. And you see like tools, like wheelbarrows and pickaxes and stuff like that, and like various houses, probably for like guards and administrators of the mines. And you see like several like guards posted around the perimeter of the fence, but they seem pretty like relaxed. They're like talking to each other. But the guards closer to the entrances look they look a little tense even, probably because of the riots, but you're not sure. As you get closer, two of the guards stop talking to each other and they like lower their spears to prevent access in. They say, "What business have you with the mines?"
What do you mean, what business? Work.
You're miners? And they look kind of like unconvinced at your very non-miner outfits.
Oka rolls their eyes. And in their very basic Tamari, they are going to say, I'm looking for Ravi.
Ravi? Who's that?
Ravi!
There's like 1 million Ravis who work here, okay, kid?
See, obviously you've just been posted since you've never seen me and don't know who Ravi is.
Huh. Yeah, well, it's true that I have just been posted. Look, it's not my fault there's a high turnover rate. No one wants to deal with this riot shit. And then the four of you hear a voice go, "Oka!" And running up is not Ravi, but someone else you do recognize from the mines. You know her only as Mama Fish. She is a Triton woman, very pudgy. She kind of looks like an orca whale, and she sort of is like waddling. She moves up to you, says, "Out of the way, you young whippersnappers, Oka!" As she busts past the guards who cannot handle her strength, and she picks you up with her flippers, and she hoists you into the air and hugs you, and she smells, as always, very fishy.
Mama Fish, I hate when you do this. I can never get the smell out of my clothes.
It's been so long, and you must be Oka's new friends. Hello, my name's Mama Fish. Please come in and let them in, youngins. I know these folks. They're friends of mine. Come in. And the guards just want to look at each other and shrug, and they let the four of you pass. She goes, "Oh, I'm so glad you're here. I thought I'd never see you again. We all thought that you were off to better horizons."
Yeah, well, I'm back for a visit. Where the hell is Ravi?
What? You haven't heard?
I heard what?
Ravi's been missing for a month. We all think she's dead. She was one of the ones who went vanishing after the first riots.
Oh.
And
Okay,
we can
stop swap. Yeah.
we can end the session there on this cliff. Ooh, what's going on? This cliffhanger, this little what's happening? So thank you everyone for watching episode 7, Tender Heart Heavy with Grief of Transplanar RPG. Again, our next episode is going to be in 2 weeks. That's in October, mark your calendars. Saturday, October 3rd at 3 p.m. Central on Twitch. And again, Lecture 5 of Professor Challen's Tabletop Workshop airs next Saturday, September 26th at 3 p.m. Central. And Devin, Gaming with Devin, is every Tuesday night at 7 p.m. Central. We're playing Final Fantasy XIV in character as Manaia Wairua. Please join us, play with us, get streamed, get likes, make money. Woo! Get rich! Let's sign off. I'm Connie. My pronouns are they, he, and she. I'm the GM and executive producer of Transplanar RPG. Find me on Twitter at @byConnieCha. Follow us on Twitter, Transplanar RPG, Tumblr, Instagram, YouTube, Twitch. Also, don't forget we have a merch store that's open now. It's on Redbubble, Transplanar RPG. You can use the exclamation point merch. I will be adding it to our link tree very soon, so you can find it on our Twitter, on everywhere. Get this cool merch. It's really high quality. It's fantastic. The shirts are really soft, and the logo looks fantastic. And just look at the mugs. And I'll pass it on to Devin.
Hi, my name's Devin. I use they, them pronouns. I have no internet presence, but you can find me pretty active on our Discord. Use the exclamation point Discord command for the link. Okay, Max.
I'm Max, I go by they, them pronouns. You can find me on Instagram and Tumblr at Starchmonger. See.
Hey, I'm C. I use they, them pronouns also. Haha! Because we're all trans. Get it? Haha. Oh god. I lost my train of thought. I'm C. I opened my commissions today, so I made the digital art that you can see here on our borders. And you can find me on Twitter at PieSharpArt or on Tumblr at Pie-Sharp. And I'll throw it over to Erica V, the winner of the battle.
I am Erica, she, her pronouns, and you can find me Erica New Girl. I also stream here on Twitch, and on Monday, 7 p.m. Central Standard Time is my next stream where I will be continuing to play Darkest Dungeon, where if you hang around my chat for a while, I have a channel point redemption that can put you into the game as a character. So come hang out with me and we'll explore the Darkest Dungeons together. Back to Connie.
Great, wonderful. With that, we're gonna sign off. We're gonna try to raid someone, so stick around. We're gonna raid someone really cool. Let's see. Who are we gonna raid today? I'm not gonna raid Pax.
And throw Manaia love in the chat when you raid.
Yes. The only person that's online right now is Pax, and I don't want to fucking raid Pax. So if anyone has any suggestions for who to raid, maybe... No one's online. Literally no one. It's just Pax. Literally no one is online.
We don't have to raid them today.
Then I guess we don't have to raid anyone. Yeah, like no one that we like is online. Okay, so fuck Pax. Just because they don't need it. We're gonna peace out then in that case. And stay frosty. We love y'all. Join our Discord. And peace.